You didn't tell this guy? All about me, broster? That is so unradical, Kahlan. He was part of her life for like 4 days. That's what it seems like.
Forever ago.
So, I don't know. You didn't tell him all about me?
Welcome back to Seeker and Confessor, a Sword of Truth podcast. My name's Lauren.
And I'm Frank.
And today we are discussing chapter 38 of Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind.
Yes.
And for those who are listening, you have once again missed out on a costume day. We have the Mother Confessor herself here in the flesh, and we also have a
furry little friend.
A mysterious furry little friend. Oh. Who knows who this could be? You're getting way too into character.
I'm into character, like... Well, we shouldn't say who it is
of course not.
We get
this
to
is
it.
The big reveal.
This is the big reveal. All right.
Okay, so how did you feel about this chapter?
Wild ride. We're going over the cliff edge here. I feel like the momentum is finally where I need it to be.
Yeah, I kind of liked it.
I'm sure you did.
I kind of was into it. This is the first time in a long time that I ended. It was crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, it was crazy, but not... Well, I was going to say not in the way where, like, I can just be like, why the fuck did you do this? There's some of that in here.
No, there is, yeah.
There is. But ultimately, I don't know why I liked this chapter.
A lot of the problem with Terry is that even when you're having fun, you're like, why the fuck did you do this? But, like...
There's two types of that. I have, why the fuck did you do this? But, like, honestly, thank you, because I'm having fun. Mm-hmm. And then I have, why the fuck did you do this? Because, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Why do your characters feel like aliens?
Yeah.
That's also a bit in here, too.
There's a little of both going on right now.
But I liked this. I will say, before we even get to it, I kind of think he did a good job describing the Confessor power. I kind of think he did.
I think so too.
Right?
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
kind of impressed. I had fun. My rage meter was there online, but low.
Okay. All right.
And the kookiness...
That's huge.
The kookiness made me laugh a lot, but, like, not in a way where I was, like, pissed off. I was kind of like, oh, this is, like, fun kooky. So
it was fun. It was good back. This should have happened ages ago.
Oh, my God, forever ago.
Brophy should have been with us since, like, the Mud People, probably.
There's no reason not to add a magical...
Zero.
Creature on
No, he
the
could have
journey.
saved their lives, like, 4 times by now.
Yeah.
You could have made his probably inevitable death really, like, potent or something.
Let's get into it. We left off with the... Oh, let me think. What the fuck was the last thing that happened?
Besides Rachel getting ganked.
Yeah. Besides that.
They were just talking about making him a wizard, and he was like, I don't want to be a wizard.
Yeah, we left off with breakfast and Richard not wanting to be a wizard.
Oh, and then they got closer and closer to...
Right. That's what it was. They were with the refugees heading towards Tamarang, and... We open with them camping again, I guess seemingly off in the woods close to Tamarang, and it's nighttime. They're sitting around the campfire, and Zedd and Kahlan are arguing about how to approach going to Tamarang tomorrow to try and get the box.
Boy, are they.
Yeah, so they're like...
Is this the part of the chapter you didn't like?
Well... more than one part, but this is one, yeah.
Okay, yep.
So they're arguing about how they're going to do this. Richard yells, "Enough!" at the two of them, and then they stop arguing, but instead start, like, petitioning their ideas at Richard for, like, why their plan is better than the other.
Yes.
Zedd says they should just march in and tell Giller to give him the box, and he's going to listen. Giller's going to listen to Zedd because he's his student, because Zedd's of the First Order. And then Kahlan pulls out her confessor dress, and she says, no, let me deal with Giller. I'm his confessor, and he'll do whatever I say because he knows the consequences if he doesn't. All
right, so really dumb that they both have really dumb plans. These very smart people are really stupid again.
Yes, when Richard explains why these plans are bad and what they should do instead. His plan isn't bad. The plan he has for them to go into the castle is actually pretty good.
It's also pretty obvious.
No, I know, that's my point. It's like there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay because with Terry, there was always a possibility that he was going to give us a plan where you'd go,
wait a minute,
what?
No, yeah,
why would you do that? Right. So the fact that it was like, yes, that's a good plan, props, but yes, the idea that Zedd and Kahlan are like blown away by these concepts is beyond stupid.
It's really it is giving credence to the fact that like people maybe don't know you can lie and make stuff up. Like that's once again is not true, but it feels like must be the real magic going on here.
So Richard's like, both of your ideas are bad. We think that Tamarang is in cahoots with Dahara, probably. That's like best case scenario. Worst case scenario, Darkenrall's like up in there hanging out.
He is. Or was.
They probably won't want to give us the box, you guys. Did you think of that? They probably won't want to. And then they have an army.
And then we got to fight army.
Because they're a kingdom. So we can't tell them we want the box right as we arrive, which is just like, bro, obviously that couldn't be the plan.
Zedd with his goofy-ass wizard order at this point, considering how you get in by just pranking him. Maybe he's not that smart. Maybe he's just a powerful guy. Kahlan has been trained in statecraft, and her people destroyed nations. Correct. You don't think that even part of the plan she explained in the hypothetical about how past confessors got in involved what Richard was talking about. So I don't understand how she's unaware of lying about your intent.
I don't know, Terry, you've absolutely done a goofed up, fucked up job here, making them not know that they shouldn't just walk up and say, give me your powerful magical item.
Neither of these characters are juggernauts. If they were like, I can storm the gate, I can kill an whole army myself, and that's what I'm going to do, then you'd be like, all right, let's maybe talk this guy out of it because he's got the power to do so. These two are just guys. They can kill a couple of people, but I imagine
very clear
they're mortal.
That they're like, we can't do that. So then so plan B was I go and ask. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, they're not going to want to give us the box. If we do that, we won't even get to Giller because they won't let us in. And I don't want to fight my way in. I want to fight my way out. It's like, yes, but also stop trying to make me believe Zedd and Kahlan wouldn't know that.
It doesn't make any sense.
Zedd turns to Kahlan and says, I think the Seeker has some good points. Perhaps we should hear him out. And Kahlan smiles a little. I believe you are correct, good wizard. What is your way? Well, she says that to Richard. It's just like, what is this weird patronizing tone?
Yeah, this sort of thing, and I don't think it's what Terry intended, makes me like, were they dumb arguing to get Richard to come up with the plan? Because that's what Seekers are supposed to do?
That is what it feels like, sort of.
But I don't think that's what he was trying to do.
Oh, I think they're supposed to be like actively charmed by the fact that they like, oh my god, he is the Seeker. He's smarter than us. It's like,
I guess.
That could be a cool revelation.
Me too. Let me in.
It could be a cool revelation if they were saying smart things and then Richard says something smarter. It just feels weird when you guys are just saying like bottom of the barrel.
Just the only basic thing you could say.
Yeah.
And then it's like one step up's like, who is this mega mind? Like,
so Richard asks Kahlan what sort of person Queen Milena is, which like finally somebody asking a relevant question.
Yeah.
And Kahlan says that Tamarang's pretty insignificant, but Queen Milena is incredibly arrogant and pompous. And then Richard says, a small snake, a snake that can kill us nonetheless. Kahlan says, but a snake with a big head, which I don't know why I get it now. She was saying like arrogant, but at first I was like, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
What is a snake with a big head? Like,
yeah, you're trying to think of like the image
nature,
of a
I was like, whoa, what does that mean? But it really doesn't mean anything.
She's not a small snake. She's a queen with an army.
I mean, I guess
it was used before to talk about common people.
Right, yeah, she's a queen.
She's a queen. She's got a lot of snakes under her command.
Sure. So Richard kind of goes about explaining his very good but also obvious plan. He says, I mean, I didn't hate the way this was written. Like, small stakes have to be careful, cautious when they don't know what they're up against. the first thing we have to do is give her a worry and make her unsure enough to not bite us. I was like, okay, like this metaphor chatter isn't like...
No, it's fine.
It's good.
If it had preceded none of the other stuff.
Yeah,
if it was just on its face, it would be much better.
Richard's like, hey, remember when you told me that confessors just like show up at kingdoms all the time and demand to come in and look around and do a sweep of the
We're
place?
going to do that.
We should do that. Which is like, of course Kahlan would think of that. Of course Kahlan would think of that.
And then my immediate question is, Kahlan is the last confessor alive, and Darken Rahl knows he's killed every other one.
Right.
And was recently in this kingdom, and this kingdom's sympathetic to him.
Yeah.
So maybe a bad plan, but we're not going to probably deal with that
They're trying to hope because they think if Darken Rahl's there, they're dead. So this is all contingent upon, luckily, he's not there.
Yeah.
And then if he's not there, it's just like, she might be suspicious, she might write a letter to Darken Rahl, but it'll just be like too late by the time they get in and out for it to matter much.
Sure, I mean more so her just being like, we won't let you in because we...
Yeah, but I think it's like the tension of like Dahara being like, here's what we want, but then she's also still like part of the Midlands.
No, that's fair.
Government.
That's
so
fair.
It's kind of, I think he's trying to create like weirdness where it's sort of like, I don't know what I should do, which is more the immediate threat. The confessor coming and blasting everybody away.
She could do.
And plus the Seekers here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's trying to be like, oh, she might just...
Yeah, but he's playing with intel that like, it feels like incomplete, like the way he's thinking about it. Like he's not allowing for the possibility that she might not be sympathetic to confessors. But he is playing into the fact that everyone knows all the wizards are dead, so therefore Zedd can't be a wizard.
Right,
so, like, it's weird. It's like...
But he's not playing on the fact that they're sympathetic to confessors. He's saying they're scared of confessors. They're scared of rejecting them.
Sure.
It's not because they love them.
But then wouldn't they be scared of a secret wizard nobody knew about if they just pretended Zedd was another guy? Like, like...
One has a lot more, like, precedent.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
And one is, like, are you lying? Like, Caitlyn's, like, she's got the long hair, she's got the outfit, like, it's just sort of like, okay, yeah, it's the confessor.
But the questions I'm asking are the questions Richard should be dealing with, and instead he's just laying out the most basic elements of the plan, and they're being like, what a genius.
I think their lack of ability to come up with this is stupid, but... I don't know. I feel like it's a fairly...
It's a straightforward shot. I guess they don't have a better one.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
He's basically like trying to get them to rely on the fact that Queen Malena is going to feel awkward and scared to reject a confessor's request, last confessor or not. They can't use Zedd as her wizard because everyone's looking for Zedd, and... if he drops his magic and is a wizard publicly again, they're going to be like, there he is. Although Darken Rahl is also looking for the confessor.
Yes. I guess they don't know that, though.
They don't know that.
They know he's looking for Zedd.
I guess. I don't know what they know and what they don't know. I'm not sure.
He's been looking for Zedd for his whole life.
Whatever.
Probably.
He thinks it'll be too obvious if it's the two of them together, which is probably true.
Sure.
So he decides that Zedd needs to be there, but like undercover.
Yeah.
So they decide he's going to be like just considered an advisor, which Richard decides is going to be officially labeled the Confessor's Cloud Reader. How'd you feel about that concept?
Cloud's coming back, baby.
I kind of thought it was cute.
Well, he was a cloud reader back home.
Yeah, so, I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And then Richard's gonna just be the Seeker, right? Because I guess word has spread that there is a Seeker.
I just hate Seeker-splaining. I don't want Richard telling Zedd he should be a cloud reader as an alias when, for like 30 years, Zedd was a cloud seeker as an alias.
Well, if you want me to believe, though, it makes no sense. You want me to be like, Zedd is so smart that if you are smarter than Zedd, you're one of the smartest people in the whole wide world. Zedd should be able to kind of help coming up with the plan. They
all should, and this is something Terry cannot do. Everyone weaving a plan together.
Why can't they do that? Why
because
is everyone
Terry
always...
loves individualism and hates other people contributing to anything smart.
Yeah, that's
only one person at a time. That's how he does it.
That's the theme. He's like, it's bad when people work together.
And that's why he has a weird relationship with probably sex and a million other things in these books.
Yeah,
he hates
it's so
communal
odd.
effort
Everyone...
being good.
Yeah, they have to be in opposition, and the only way you can have a good idea is because somebody else had such a stupid idea that
the
you
opposite
needed to
stupid
own
idea,
them.
which was wrong. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. If Richard said, Kahlan, this would be a good idea. Like, I don't know how we're going to get you two in. And then Kahlan said, well, I told you about confessors going into nations. I will be me. And then Zedd said, oh, but, and if Richard went, wait, but Zedd can't go in as himself. Richard said, and Zedd just whipped up a wizardly disguise and was like, don't you remember I was a cloud reader for 30 years? That's what I'll be.
Yeah.
Then it's like the whole party's going in together. They're all like, you know,
I
they
get
figured
that
it out.
Trying to show how smart Richard is, but there's still a middle ground where Zedd could be the one who says, I can't go in as a wizard, but I'm not sure what else to do. And then Richard could be the one who comes up with, hey, why don't you do this instead? But instead it's just all. He can't come up with the fact that he shouldn't be a wizard. He can't come up with being an advisor.
That's what I'm saying.
He can't come up with lying. He can't come up with anything. Which, I don't know. Just mix it together a little bit. You can still make Richard seem smart and not have them be this pathetically useless. So then Richard's like, also, I should be the Seeker because it's powerful. And it's basically combining, like, we're giving her something she knows. Mm-hmm. The confessor, official confessor visit. She's aware of that. She knows what the consequences are, so she's going to feel pressured.
Yeah.
But then she's also not going to just say, oh, good, fuck you, I'll attack you, because there are two other people who seem powerful that are around. She's just like, I don't actually know what the fuck you guys do.
That's true. So it introduces a established, powerful... potential enemy with an unknown powerful potential enemy. Yeah, and that creates enough confusion that she's not going to act rashly.
Right.
It's a good plan.
I think it's a good plan. I like the way it was explained, and that's all good and well.
Yeah. It's not Ocean's 11 or anything, but
no, it's fine.
They're going to get in. It's probably going to work.
So, Zedd and Kahlan agree with the plan.
Yeah.
But. But Kahlan tells Richard that him and Zedd are going to have to really play the part of couriers to the Mother Confessor. And there's a lot of rules that Richard does not know about how to do this. Zedd knows it. Richard does not. And Richard says, just tell me what I need to know to get by for a short time. Which I'm like, are you guys short on time? Because it seems like you're just hanging out around the campfire. You're not doing this till tomorrow. It seems like it should not be, that shouldn't be the attitude. It should be like, tell me as much as you can. Now, why?
I don't know.
Okay. He's resistant to the whole...
And he's allowed to monologue the entire thing, but when she tries to augment the plan itself...
No.
He's like, all right, give me the cliff notes, bitch. It's like, no, you came up with this plan. Here's how we make it happen.
We've been
whatever.
Harsh on Kahlan not giving him info, but maybe she's been trying and he keeps being like, don't tell me all that. I don't want to know.
That's not Richard's fault. That's the anger of the sword.
Oh.
And Kahlan's fault for making him angry in the first place. A la Zedd.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not his fault at all.
Kahlan's really, like, dodgy about this. She's like, here, I feel like I should have my hood up for this.
Oh, yeah.
The most important thing is to be ... respectful. She diverted her eyes. Just pretend like I am the most important person you have ever been around and treat me in that manner. Every confessor shows her attendings different liberties, and as long as you are deferential, no one will think anything of it should you do something not quite proper. Even if you think my behavior ... odd. Just play along, all right? That didn't tell me anything, but a little.
And why is she so nervous explaining it?
Because there's a lot of reasons.
This woman has killed a lot of people via submission magic.
But she's nervous because it's the first time she's ever been
open with Richard,
in love with somebody, and therefore she desperately wants to be equals, and she's so, or not, but in the other direction maybe. She just doesn't like the idea of having to Mother Confessor him around.
Unless we're in the spirit house, but let's keep going.
True.
Yeah.
I find this simplicity of this dynamic boring, personally. Oh, I love him, therefore my Mother Confessor-ness is just embarrassing or bad. Like, I just wish she had a more complicated relationship with it.
Of course, yeah.
So then Richard says, "It would be my honor, Mother Confessor." And he bows. And then Zedd says, "A little deeper, my boy. You are an escort to the Mother Confessor herself," which, like...
Yeah.
Damn, he's not being very deferential. So he's, like, kind of paying lip service to, like, yeah, I'll do it, but clearly...
Not willing to...
He's kind of being resisting. He's not, like, really playing into it.
Correct.
I guess I'm just, like... I don't know. Would these emotions really be big enough in the face of this to matter? Like, I don't care how much I like somebody. If the end of the world is on the line, we're about to go, like, potentially save the world by doing, like,
improv,
mild play acting.
Yeah.
Is there any part of me that would be like, ugh. Like, I don't think my brain would have the capacity to give a fuck. It would just be like, I'm gonna act the shit out of this. If the only
Are you saying if you're Richard?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Both of them, really.
Well, he's hyper literal, and I guess he lacks the skill. I don't know. Now.
Both of them. I think Kahlan should be like, who gives a fuck? Yeah, I don't love it in a normal environment. I would be uncomfortable with this, but, like, we really gotta sell this, okay, bitch?
Yeah.
You're gonna do it. This is how you have to act. I'm not gonna be, like, sheepish about it. And then if I'm Richard, I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Let's not do that after we save the world. But right now, it's all good. Who gives a fuck?
It doesn't mean anything.
It means nothing.
We are lying to them. We're playing we're playing roles to get something we want out of them. We're bamboozling them.
Whose brain is prioritizing these like very mild feelings of like
obstinance?
I don't like getting bullied by you because I like you. Who cares? Shut up.
Well, someone will shut him up soon, hopefully.
I know, I thought that too. I thought that as we go a little bit in. I was like,
While we're here in the darkness of the woods and these characters representing some greater thematic and whatever purpose, what do you ascribe this to? Like, how do you Richard's inability or unwillingness to even play along in this role? Like, I
think it is supposed to be a fault,
sure,
right? Like, I think we're not supposed to be, like, on his side, per se. Like, I think we are supposed to be a little bit, like, just do it. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. But the fact that he is going to get very much punished for this
soon
makes me think that I'm supposed to be like, oh, this was incorrect on his part.
Yeah, I guess so.
But then that kind of implies, like, okay, so then what the wards did to them were like, he needed that. Which seems a little extreme.
Did he need that, Terry?
I don't know.
Did you need that?
Someone
needed it.
So yeah, that it definitely feels related with our furry friend coming up.
Who could it be?
Think that's related. I don't know. There does seem to be a theme here of, like, people being resistant to femdom, I guess. That's bad, but then, like, I'm sure it's also good long term, right?
Yeah,
for Richard.
I would think.
So I don't really know why he's gonna, like, why is he, like, being like, I don't want you to femdom me, and then he's also, even for the end of the world, don't femdom me even to save the world, but then he's also, like, gonna get so femdomed correctively, I guess. I don't know what to make of it. Richard tells them to go to sleep. He's going to take first watch. We do this twice in the chapter. We've done it 100 times already. I'm going to do my watch. Hey, before you go on your watch, let me tell you one quick thing for you to dwell on.
That will come up in 1 to 3 chapters.
Yeah, I mean, we did it with Kahlan and Richard and Zedd.
Yep.
It wasn't, I don't know, I think chapter 36. We do it here, and then we're going to do it again at the end of this chapter. Like, I don't know. It's just like an annoying...
Yep. Didn't know how to fit it into the monologue,
yeah, exactly.
So now I have to fit it into the footnote.
So, yeah, but this one's really absurd and off topic. So Richard's like, I'm going to go take first watch, and Zedd calls out, Richard! Right, because here's the thing. This coming up right on the heels of him being like, ugh, femdom. Richard, there are many in the Midlands who have magic. Many different and dangerous types of magic. Mm-hmm. There is no telling what manner of sycophants Queen Milena has surrounded herself with. You pay attention to what Kahlan and I tell you and do your best not to cross anyone. Why is he, like, yelling this at Richard across the way. Why did you say it? I don't know. Before?
It will become immediately plot relevant, and they didn't fit it in anywhere.
You may not know who or what her attendants are. And then Richard says, so, like, yeah, I guess we're implying, like, oh my god, Mordsith, kind of, right?
Yeah, so we got 2 examples of that coming up. We got the court artist, I assume, and the Mordsith. What?
Is that in this book?
Well,
court artist?
He's an attendant. Well, he's definitely in cahoots with Queen Milena, so when they start some shit, he might do something, you know?
We'll see. I want to know his power.
So
what
bad,
his powers
yeah.
are. So Richard says, in and out with minimum fuss. At this time tomorrow, we'll have the box.
Wow.
I mean, whatever. I get it. Like, he's just thinking positively.
Yep.
And then Zedd says, good, you have it right, my boy. Good night. So he's, like, in agreement that this is a good way to think about it.
He's George Clooney over here. He's in and out of that casino. No problem.
I don't know if I know this.
I assume trumpets are coming in. 3, 2, 1, let's go. No. Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have to play this when they finally are getting into the castle.
This should play over the entirety of them, like, going through, but you know there's gonna be boring talking points, so that's not gonna happen anyway.
Well, it seems like a good, that's the vibe I'm getting.
That's the vibe I want, that I'm not gonna get.
Yeah. So Richard, I don't know why there was so much description about this log and the moss. He finds a moss-covered log to sit on. He's, like, checking it to make sure it's dry, and it's, like, bothers to explain. Like, he wanted to make sure it's dry because he wouldn't like it if his pants got wet. So then he's like, oh, good, it's dry, and he sits down. That's not relevant ever, so just some flavor text, I guess. He doesn't do any, like, conversational, relational flavor text, only...
Richard likes dry pants. Just know that about him, right?
About, like, logs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And, like, it's not like that's a beautiful description. It was just, like, weirdly utilitarian.
Not wet. Good.
Richard he's sitting on the log. He's thinking about Kahlan and about how he's going to have to behave. And he was worried about what she meant about her acting odd. And him having to play along. Are you really that concerned?
He's getting excited on that dry log.
Are you really so concerned? Are you?
He said, is this going to be a little bit of femdom?
And worried even more at what she said about pretending to be the most important person he had ever been around. He liked that not at all.
Oh, no.
Okay. Why?
He liked it not at all. Not one bit.
What's your problem?
They had to put a speech here to buffer what's coming next. That's all. And let's get to that.
He always imagined Kahlan as a friend at the very least. Like, what? No one's saying, why did these people act like role playing is real? Like, they're like...
Well, they act like lies don't exist and tricks are magic. So yeah, role playing is real.
Like, they act like, oh my god, if I fake act...
Yeah.
That's real.
It's the same thing as becoming the thing. You were just transforming.
Stop. He didn't like picturing her as some other confessor. So, like, yeah, okay, I kind of get it. I kind of understand being intimidated by that. But I guess it frustrates me because, like, I think, like, a complex thought and feeling around this, if you're in Richard's position, would be that feeling plus curiosity, right?
Of course.
You're telling me he's not curious to see how she, like,
no,
this
he
other side
maligns
of
it
her.
because it keeps her away from him, and that's the only thing he has.
I think that's pretty one note.
Of course
I think he would feel that for sure, but he'd feel many things probably, including, I can't lie, I'm a little curious. I mean, I'm scared, but I'm curious to see it. Richard suddenly is like, feels the eyes that have been following them. They're on him, and he hears a sound, and he sees in the brush a huge, scary wolf. Oh my god. And it jumps at him. It pushes him off the log. And
which is now wet with Richard piss. All right.
It pushes him off the log. And as he falls back off of the log, he also notices behind him actually is a heart hound. What? Oh no. And so then, I don't know, Richard hits his head on a rock or something, and then he, like, right before he passes out, he sees the wolf attacking the heart hound. Okay, right. We already had all the foreshadowing that Richard thinks this is just a good little guy, whoever this thing in the woods is. Yeah. So I guess we should not be surprised when it's attacking the Hearthound, and we're not, right?
It's sad that the book ends here because Richard hits his head and dies from traumatic brain injury. Why can't the book ever just let us find that out and be suspenseful?
That's what I mean. Like, just be like, I'm not sure.
There's eyes in the darkness. It's killing stuff, and that's a little scary considering the world in which we find ourselves.
Yeah.
And then when it turns out to be on your side, that's great. You didn't expect that because nothing has been so
Richard
far.
Just knew.
Richard's just like, those eyes are just sweet little eyes. I just know those are some good little eyes out there.
Richard comes to. Zedd's looking over him. He's got his fingers on his forehead because he's like healing him with his magic. Kahlan's holding a torch. They make him sit. They make him.
Like in The Mummy, like she's got one of those like burning like oil torches.
I don't know. I could picture it. I like
the
imagery.
It's fantasy. Of course, that's what happened. But
so they make him sit up. Kahlan strokes his face and asks if he's okay. He says, "My head hurts," and they look at the ripped up Hearthound and they're like, yeah,
what
was this?" And
what the fuck?
Richard says, "Oh, actually, a giant wolf has been following us, and it killed the Hearthound, right?" Kahlan looks a little suspicious. She's like,
"Giant wolf, huh?
A wolf?" She immediately says, Brophy, I know you're out there. Come here this instant." Oh. Yeah, his head and tail are down. He drops to his belly and crawls to Kahlan's feet.
Oh, man.
And then he rolls over and shows her his belly. So I was shook when she said Brophy. I was shook. And then at this point, I was like, oh my god, he's a werewolf.
Yeah, no.
Which, not the case.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That could have been fun.
Yeah.
We don't really seem to do magical, like, we're not going werewolf in here.
No, we're going half-brained man, half-wolf, body-brained, hybridized, in an attempt to save them from the unfortunate legal system.
Right.
Transformative magic.
And so, like, honestly, that was kind of working for me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's interesting.
I wanted this earlier.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is good.
I like that. That's weird, but I like it.
Yeah.
So anyway, she calls Brophy. This submissive little wolf comes crawling over.
Biggest wolf you ever saw, though. Not just submissive, biggest wolf.
And submissive wolf. It's giving, like the strength tarot card. We like to see that.
Yes, it is. Very
Google
good point.
It if you want to look it up.
That's giving that, yeah.
So we're gonna have to act this out now. So your line after me is only to protect you, mistress. Okay.
From the belly.
I'm gonna say something, and then you're gonna say that.
Okay.
I don't know if he's sitting up at this point.
Yeah.
Brophy, have you been following us?
Only to protect you, mistress.
Oh, you made him, hot.
Or,
stick with that.
I don't know how to do a medium wolf voice.
I don't know. I can't...
Only to protect you, mistress. It's like an orc, maybe. Though. I don't know.
I'm really struggling to know if he's, kind of like a hot wolf who's also just, mistress. Or is it, he just comes across as so, whiny and pathetic through the whole thing that I kind of started imagining his voice, mistress, very Samuel-esque.
No, I think it's anime. I think he's a Chad-ass wolf,
right.
But in the mistress scenes, he's a little squealy. You know what I'm saying?
It's complicated. So then Richard says, the wolf can talk!
There he goes again.
Fair enough. Zedd says, I thought you told him. And then Kahlan says, well, I guess I didn't remember to tell him everything. But I'm like, this doesn't seem... if Brophy didn't show up at this point, why would any of this be relevant? Why would she have told Richard about
why
this
didn't
one-off
you
random
tell
guy?
him about that one scenario where we turned a guy into a... Wait, how does Zedd know about this?
Well, I think it sounds like there's a precedent for sometimes I turn confessed innocent people into animals.
Correct.
It's like a so I think Zedd just is being...
Oh, say you didn't tell him that's a thing?
Yeah, I think he's more upset that he just knows that they do this. He's like, oh, you didn't tell him about the system where we turn the innocents into creatures? I don't know.
Give him some semblance of will back.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what he's mad about. I don't know. Why is he like, you didn't tell him about Brophy? Why, other than Brophy showing up right now, would Richard need to know about Brophy? Yeah, but I was shocked it was Brophy. I was shocked this was the Brophy.
This was Brophy. Brophy came, and this was Brophy. Incredible.
So then they go and sit by the fire. Richard starts the conversation with Wolf, I guess. What? You just, first of all, if you heard somebody call the wolf Brophy multiple times, you're not going to forget his name is Brophy because that's a weird name and the wolf has a name. You would just remember that. And you wouldn't be like, oh, sorry. Even if you forgot, you'd be like, what's your name again? You would, Wolf, I guess. But it is kind of in character for Richard.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not bought in on this bullshit yet.
Insensitive, my God. And then the wolf says, Brophy. The name's Brophy. And he says, I would like to thank you for saving my life.
Don't mention it.
Oh, he has an accent now?
Yeah, now he does.
Okay.
Don't mention it.
Oh,
no, that's still an accent.
Yeah, but I like that one better. So yeah, at this point, I'm like, oh, I need more Brophy lore. There's so much.
Give me the Brophy lore, and you get Brophy lore.
I do.
You get all of it.
So.
And you get more than you maybe wanted, but.
Kahlan says in a disapproving voice, Brophy, what are you doing here?
There's danger. I have been protecting you.
You have been released, she scolded. So we're seeing Mother Confessor in action right here.
Yeah,
right?
We couldn't wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, so Richard was like, I don't want to see it. But then it's interesting because she's like she released him and she like clearly hates being the Mother Confessor, I guess. But then also like she does snap right into like command mode, right? Yeah. She's not like, I released you, so I guess technically you can do whatever you want. I don't know. She's very like, don't do that, and like defaults to it. I kind of liked that. I like seeing her almost like unknowingly I like that start confessing when she's in a scenario that's more
intense or more related to her her backstory.
I thought the dynamic was kind of interesting. She is constantly like talking down to him, scolding him, being kind of sarcastic and rude to him, and you're like, she clearly is not fully integrated her like morality
that's
theory
true.
On like the whole thing, because I do feel like if you were in her position and you were genuinely like hard-lined, like, I fucking hate this, I'm uncomfortable with it, I don't want to do this, I'll do it when I have to, but otherwise I'm like really committed to the idea that these people should be free, or like, I just think you would engage with Brophy differently. She's being really patronizing the whole time. And so I'm like, okay, well, you haven't like in any way excised that from your personality, like at all.
Not at all. And I kind of have to wonder, like, you know, we talk about how the power of hers is love based and it makes them love her.
I don't like it still, but
obviously, but like, where's the effect on her backwards? Like, where's the, like, she clearly just shows disdain for
she
it.
Does,
and that's weird.
She has like a little bit of affection for like him because he's innocent, whatever, but
it's almost like dominance and like cold distance.
She's not in love with them, that's for sure.
No, I know. I know. I mean, it just gives quite a flavor, I feel like.
Yeah, a flavor I'm sure we'll see reflected in a few chapters.
Hopefully.
So Brophy says there's been heart hounds that keep trying to attack Richard in the night, and he's been killing them to keep them safe because he knows Kahlan would be sad if Richard died, right?
Cute.
Yes. So then Zedd's like, you've been like traveling this whole time, no heart hounds coming after you. Why all of a sudden do you think that's happening?
Good fucking question.
Richard panics and he's like, Addie told us to wear bones to keep them away, and I was wearing one that my dad gave me, but I lost it like a few days ago. I mean, not a terrible lie or anything.
That's the truth, except that he got rid of it. It's exactly what happened.
I hate when I have to give, I'm like, oh my God, someone asked a normal question and somebody replied in a way that was totally sounded like a human.
I know. Hold on.
Good job! So then Zedd looks like he's thinking about this. Like, he's kind of like, what does that mean? Richard asks Brophy why he can talk. And then Brophy says, same reason you can talk, I can talk. You mean he doesn't know what I am? To Kahlan. And it's like, okay, so hooray, good job. Richard and Zedd had a normal back and forth. We're back to
snap back to reality.
We're not.
Well,
what do you mean? Why
Brophy.
would the wolf give a fuck if Richard knew what he was?
Is this super common? Is this like all the transfigured humans keep in contact? Like, all right, yeah.
What we've done is we just took Zedd's opinion from earlier that already didn't make sense. And then we said, since Zedd thought that, transmutation, now Brophy has the same opinion because I want to reinforce it. That doesn't make sense because Brophy even says it and looks at Kahlan as if implying, why is Kahlan in Brophy's mind responsible for Richard knowing this?
I have no idea. It doesn't make
He would ask Richard that. He'd be like, oh, why don't you know that? He wouldn't be like, Kahlan, why didn't you tell him?
Why should he know it?
If it is in the Midlands, like, bizarre not to know this.
Okay,
I just think he would direct the question at Richard and be like, what's wrong with you, dude? Why don't you know that?
No, I agree with that. Yeah. You didn't tell this guy? All about me, Brofster? That is so unradical, Kahlan.
Like, how big of a deal is Brophy in Kahlan's life?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Around.
He's never been brought up. He's never around.
No,
she's never at night been like thinking about wolves.
When we get the backstory, like, Brophy's just not part of her life anymore at all.
He was part of her life for like 4 days. That's what it seems like.
Forever ago.
So I don't know. You didn't tell him all about me? I keep thinking about you. If you made it like that, where you're like, what do you mean you didn't tell him about me? I'm obsessed with you.
Yeah, it doesn't really give, like, their dynamic.
No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't give that. If he's like, I spend every waking day thinking about you, you haven't told everyone about me. If that was the dynamic.
Kahlan reminds Richard, sometimes she would confess people who were innocent. Well, Brophy was one of them, and he was going to be executed for killing a little boy. She explains that Brophy was accused of killing this boy, and he chose to be confessed instead. And wizards accompany confessors to these events, both to protect them, but also because on the off chance that the person is innocent, they have a thing that they do where they will transform you from a human into an animal, because when you are a human who has been confessed, you can't undo it. And I've said this, like, I'm like, you're essentially like brain dead because you're just like not your personality anymore. And if they transmute you into an animal, since you're less complex, the magic kind of
has
is like
less of a
it's still there, but it's like not that as impactful. So you can kind of have like some semblance of free will and your own personality. This is like weird.
But fine world building.
I was like, okay, I'll buy it. I buy that the magic works less on animals.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, and that like that's maybe an okay middle ground that people will go for. Yeah, if I were in that scenario, I needed to be confessed, and now I'm just like, I can't think anymore.
I can't do anything but serve
I'll make
this
you
lady.
any animal you want, and you'll like feel a lot better in that way, and kind of get your personality
What
back.
a bad system, but all right.
Terrible system, but Richard thinks so too. But yeah, I mean, sure, I'll go for it. Makes sense. And but it's weird because like, you're not like fully turning into the animal either, though, because clearly he still has his memories, still kind of has his personality. Oh yeah, can talk. Clearly has higher functioning skills mentally than a regular wolf.
Well, yeah, because they don't have subtractive magic. If they did, they could take some of the IQ points off, but otherwise they could just transmute, you know?
Oh, right. He had to maintain his IQ. I don't know.
I don't know either. It doesn't really make
but like,
sense.
It's good and it's intuitive enough that I'm like, okay, I buy it. So Richard says, you were innocent and yet you were to be left like this for life? It's like, I think we made it clear already that even if you were innocent, you were just fucked up for the rest of your life. This is actually good news. This is what I thought. I didn't like this whole part we're about to get into.
Okay.
So you were innocent, and yet you were left like this for life? Brophy says completely innocent. Mm-hmm. Kahlan she says his name in a rising tone, Brophy.
Like a dog.
The wolf sunk down. He says, of killing that boy.
Of killing that boy.
Okay. I have many things just in this one line here. It says, she says his name in a rising tone that Richard was familiar with, which I was like, because does she do that to him? I don't think we've ever experienced that. Who does she talk to like that?
Throwaway lines like that make me think like Terry's just self-inserting like his opinion on women sometimes.
Yeah, I was just like, what are you
I'm familiar
about?
with ladies talking to me like that. So would Richard be.
I don't actually know what we're referring to.
When has she done that? In his presence?
I have no memory of
never
that.
once.
I would have listen, I'm looking for any drops of characterization. I would have committed it to memory. Yep. She's never done that. So, and I was like, is he referring to like a minute ago? I don't know.
Probably. Yeah. Richard, I hope you remembered it. I know he got hit on the head, but Jesus, like, it just happened.
Okay. But then we are very clearly talking about a very specific thing. Kahlan was called in to confess him because he was being accused simply of killing a boy. She wasn't called in for any other reason, just of killing the boy. Richard says, oh my God, that's so terrible that you didn't kill the boy, and yet you got confessed and turned into a wolf. And then he says, yeah, like, I agree. I was totally innocent. And then Kahlan is about to, like, trot out every mild sin of this man and is sort of like, what, like, oh, you're not completely innocent. It's like, oh, what? No, he is. Of the thing you confessed him for, yes, he is. So because he's done anything bad in his life, he's not allowed to say, I'm innocent of that?
I think that Kahlan is this arbiter of other people's sins. So I think she needs to be like, you're not completely innocent. You did crimes that you never got caught for, and I had to hear about all of them.
They're like nothing. Who cares?
I'm confused if they're nothing. I don't know if they're nothing.
He's either like human trafficking or doing nothing.
It seems like he's human trafficking, but just not orphan boy children.
I know, but the tone is bizarre because if she's like, you know what, you didn't do that, but you're not innocent, you're a fuck, and you were doing horrible human trafficking things, then her, like, towards the end of the chapter, she's very, like, hee ha ha affectionate towards Brophy, which seems like a weird tone to take if, in fact, he did something really horrible. If it wasn't horrible enough, and Kahlan feels comfortable being hee ha ha, my little wolfy boy,
then you shouldn't.
Then why are you doing this to him? Why are you shaming him like this?
Because we love shame.
So weird.
We love spanking the dog in this book.
So then I was like, is it almost like part of Kahlan's characterization that she's doing this in some attempt to assuage her own guilt? Like, to be like, well, okay, don't oversell it. I don't feel that bad. You also did bad things. Is it that?
No, I think it's I think it's that she's being forced to hold all of everyone's sins and they get absolved.
So Brophy says, that's all I meant. I meant innocent of killing that boy, which is in fact what they were talking about. So Kahlan says, it means when he gave his confession, he confessed to other things. You see, Brophy had been engaged in occupations of a dubious nature at the gray edges of the law. He says, I was an honest businessman. Brophy was a traitor. Trader, not traitor. Trader. And then Richard says, my father was a traitor.
These two do have a little bit of a broship.
Yeah, they love each other.
They do.
Which
Wolf.
I kind of think is cute. Kahlan says, well, I don't know what Westland traders are doing, but traders that are in the Midlands deal in things of magic. And then Richard thinks about the Book of Count in Shadow. So he's like,
Yerp.
My dad too. And then he says, so what? Which, like, honestly, same question, though. I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah, so what?
So what?
Why is that important?
She says, some of them happened to be alive at the time. What are you talking about, miss?
This entirely shapes how we should view Brophy.
Yeah, 100%. But we don't get a clear answer.
Was he intelligent being trafficking, or was he selling, like,
I don't know,
goopy glossomer tadpoles to, like, the swamp sorceress. Like, what was he doing?
So he says, you can't always tell. Sometimes things seem like artifacts, books, statues, stones, staffs. How am I supposed to know if they're alive? So that's why you were saying, like, maybe he's, like, trafficking charlings, but I'm like...
I'm not going to hold this man responsible for trafficking a living statue.
Why? I don't know how well known is it in the Midlands that maybe the statue is alive. So should he know that?
There was a soul in the amulet.
Like is this something where I'm like, wow, Brophy's really... Everyone knows this and Brophy's just playing dumb? Or is this like Kaylin's...
That's what he's implying, but we don't have enough information to confirm it.
Since I haven't seen that at all in this world, but maybe it's true. But in that case... I don't know. I don't know how realistically...
And if it's in the gray edges of the law, like she's implying, and not just clearly bad... right. You shouldn't interrupt his confession of, I am entirely innocent of killing a little boy, trot out his
you sold a
pawn shop.
Book once, and I didn't like that.
That book had a name.
She says, okay, you traded things of magic other than... books and statues, which like what? We don't say. She says, sarcastic over here, in this innocent business of his, he would also get himself in disagreements with people. Disagreements such as rights of ownership. What does that mean? So you're saying that they would like steal from each other and get pissed?
And he would beat people up. That's basically it.
But this is why I don't really trust Kaylin right now, because she's mentioning this in the same breath as if like this is so crazy. It's like what he like, I don't know, tussled with riffraff, and you're like, so maybe it was okay that I confessed you.
You're not entirely innocent. You brawled with the Dockside boys. Like, you know? Like,
literally. I was like, okay, who cares? Who fucking cares? Are you, like, actually being like, how dare you say you're innocent when you were accused of killing a little boy? Because, like, one time you got into a fist fight. Checkmate.
Yeah, her, like, point is dwindling here.
Right, and yeah, why wouldn't you start with that and then go up to maybe he was
trafficking living beings? Yeah, no.
She started with that, and it was like, also sometimes he got into a fight. Sometimes, like...
One time he stole a barrel of olives and then beat the owner up. It's like, all right, yeah, you got me now.
When Brophy was a man, he was a big man. He used his size to persuade people to do as he wished. Is this not true, Brophy? Why are we doing this to him?
I don't know. Just to explain why he's such a big wolf, I guess.
I don't know.
He was a huge man. He was shredded, weren't you, Brophy? Weren't your oily muscles rippling when you beat those boys up?
So his ears wilt. He says, "It's true, mistress."
It's true, mistress.
I have a temper as big as my muscles.
I have a temper as big as my muscles. But it only came out when I was wronged. People think that they can cheat traders.
This is me like, no. I don't think so. You're not getting off so easily.
Not even with my big muscles.
You don't have big muscles anymore, Brophy. Then she smiles at him. Brophy had a reputation that was larger than truth. The business he was in was dangerous, but profitable.
What are you writing his autobiography? Like, what?
The business he was in was dangerous, but profitable. Brophy made enough money to support his hobby. Almost no one knew about it until I touched him. So you're like...
This is like a true crime podcast. Yeah.
Okay, the wolf puts his paws over his head.
Oh, mistress, please, must we?
Which, like... Okay, multiple things here where we're... Why does he care? Like, why is he embarrassed like this?
Because it's still part of... He's still part confessed, and it brings her anger, so he's ashamed of it.
No, she's going to say something good now.
Then I have no idea,
no,
actually.
Good.
All right, never mind.
He's embarrassed that he did good things. Richard can't know that he helped orphans.
Maybe this is his wolfishness, not wanting to be so good. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. It's just like a one-note character that's like, he was a big, tough guy, and... he couldn't be nice to the kids. It's embarrassing. It's like...
Yeah. The drug dealer with the heart of gold.
Not a real person. Most people who do shit like that who are like big tough guys who like have these little soft spots. They're very like proud of it, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
And are very like, fuck you. You know, like that's what I do.
I fight and I run the after school orchestra. Like,
never heard of a person that like is like a tough guy who does really nice things and is like so embarrassed. I'd be like, don't tell anyone. I don't know who that person is. I've never met them. I've never seen them. Don't know it. Brophy got all this gold, which he used to support his hobby. Like, oh, please don't tell anybody my hobby.
His hobby.
Kahlan drops this line on us. Well, Richard says, well, what was his hobby? Kahlan drops this. Brophy had a weakness. Children.
Well, judging by the rest of the book, this leads us to assume one thing, but it is not that thing.
Well, sure. Okay. First of all, Kahlan, if I'm in universe, right? Kahlan, I'm sitting there at the fire. Kahlan, that's a really very weird way to phrase this and put
Agreed.
She's like intentionally trying to trick them into thinking he's a pedophile.
Correct.
Why does Kahlan want to do that? Terry, fuck you. Actually fuck you for that line. Do not
I know.
Do not be like, oh, I'm putting the pedophiles all in my story, and I would love to use the prevalence of pedophilia as a funny gotcha for the audience.
Right?
Fuck off. Like, what are you doing?
Now, he's just unhinged at this point.
That's
Everyone's
crazy.
a pedophile. Even, just kidding, not this guy, you thought it.
He just thinks that's so clever. Like, stop. I just don't like that. I don't like being like fed this like, doesn't it sound like what I'm saying is that he fucks children? Okay, why are you doing that?
Yeah, you've done it already too much.
Terry, why are you doing that? Why would Kahlan do that? Why would Kahlan be like, I'm so excited to shame him in front of the group, and then also maybe make it sound like he's a pedophile, and then we're all gonna laugh because he's not.
He's the opposite. He likes kids. For one, someone's nice to children.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Really did not like that. That really brought the chapter down for me. She explains that he would like, which we know this from Rachel talking about when she loves Brophy, he would stop in at the orphanages and give the kids toys and food and whatever. And they're sort of like, oh, he used to like use his intimidating nature to like make sure that they were treating the children well. And you're like, that's cute. I don't know why he would be ashamed of it, especially like now after all this time, all of this has happened. He's living the life of a wolf. Is he really still embarrassed about this? I don't know why he would have been in the first place. I don't know.
Yeah, wouldn't his wolfification have like really solidified his confidence in his actions?
You'd think,
you would think, especially when you hear how chadly of a wolf he's being.
Correct. So he says, Mistress, please, I have a reputation, and a well-earned one at that. I've broken my share of arms and noses. I've done some pretty despicable deeds.
Yeah, we know. We just talked about him, and Kahlan trotted him out.
And then she says, yes, and none bad enough to chop off your head. So then that to me, I think if he actually was like human trafficking conscious beings, Kahlan probably would be like, oh, maybe you should die. Yeah. But no, she's like, no, I agree. You shouldn't have died for anything you did. So then why the fuck did you just shame him like this?
Yeah, you should feel the shame. Yeah, maybe it is just a character flaw, though.
Right? Yeah. I thought that. I was like, maybe she's just having a
kind of sucky
dark Kahlan moment.
Yeah.
The spirit house.
She has some. Yeah.
She does have some. I was like, this is unlikable of you. And I think maybe we're supposed to be like, oh, that's why Richard doesn't want to see this side of her. Because in my brain, I'm sort of like, okay, the mother confessor side of her, I would assume is a complex, nuanced mix of good and bad. But I think maybe, I don't know, because it is going to be good. I know for a fact in the series, like her being the mother confessor is also going to be like cool and powerful and good at
and
times.
Part of her arc will be accepting that probably. But
so when he was accused of murdering a boy because of his bad reputation and because he's always hanging out at orphanages, they believed that he did it.
Perfect storm.
Brophy says that Demon Nas, wow, I'm shocked he's coming into this.
What?
Is the one who accused him.
Wow. That pedophile's back?
And nobody stood up for him at the orphanages because Demon Nas said he would kill them if they tried to say that Brophy was a good man.
This,
Wait, this happened in the Midlands?
Yeah, so I don't know why.
How long ago, and why was Demon hanging out in the Midlands like that?
Why is there one prolific pedophile going around ruining the lives of others?
I guess because he's the most powerful pedophile.
Sure. It just feels weird. And then, like, the fact that Dark and Rawl had mentioned to Demon, remember what you did with the last little boy, probably this little boy that we're talking about here.
Probably.
It's like, why is everything referencing itself? I don't think Evil Magic Hitler and his associate, the pedophile for Hitler, would be like thinking about the one little boy he molested in the Midlands that made the werewolf man. I don't it's just convenient.
So many things. It's like nothing exists in these people's lives outside of the main plot threads that are occurring for us.
It makes me think of I know you've never watched Street Fighter, but there's a scene with Bison, the villain.
No.
And it's just, the Chun-Li or whoever was talking to him was like, I'm getting revenge for you killing my village. And Bison says, the day Bison came to your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. And we don't have any but for me, it was Tuesday energy.
Never.
For Dark and Rawl, for any of these people. It's like, Dark and Rawl's wiping things out. He's diving into the underworld. Things that are important should be at scales, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, the only important things are the things that connect everyone.
So Richard says, who is Demon Nas?
Oh my god. Gotta tell him.
Kaylin says, remember when Dark and Rawl came to the Mud People and took Sidon?
Oh.
Do you remember? Do you remember? How would he not remember that?
Do you remember when he took... Hey, do you remember when they kidnapped our friend's kid?
Do you remember when
Yes, Kaylin, that was a week and a half ago. Yeah, I definitely remember when he swooped down on a dragon and stole a little boy.
Do you remember
which
that?
Seemed weird.
Okay, I didn't know if you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you remember when he came and took him? And then, do you remember when he said Sidon was a gift for a friend? Demon Nas is that friend.
Oh my god. And this is the first time that we'll reflect on Sidon since they left.
Correct. Demon Nas has a very sick interest in little boys.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Richard's just like reflecting on he's like, oh no, I feel so bad for Savidlin and Sidon and Westlin. But okay, I mean, nothing good was happening no matter what when Dark and Rawl took the child.
Dark and Rawl alone scoops out the testicles and brain and eats them to go to the underworld.
It doesn't really... I mean, I guess I get it. Like, it just is an extra layer of oh my god. But
He's got a pedophile in waiting at his castle. It's crazy. What are you doing?
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, he does. And so, yeah, finally, though, we bring Sidon back up, but...
That alone is a premise for a story. Just this evil man in his castle swoops down on his dragons to steal little boys to give to his pedophile best friend. That's the origin story for, the greatest hero ever, and here we are.
Yeah.
Terry was like, oh, I got it.
But so this is what really pisses me off about, for example, when Richard's being like, I don't like that I'm gonna have to pretend you're in charge of me.
Yeah, I know.
That's really bothering me. And it's like, this is what you're doing it for, you crazy fucking man.
Here are the stakes.
The stakes are that the pedophile man stole your friend's son. You really can't suck it up? Get over yourself, you loser.
For an hour and a half.
Yeah, and I love how, he's not nervous. He's not oh, I'm nervous about pulling it off. He's like, yeah, it'll go fine. I just don't want to do it. And then, yes, when you then, right after, put into perspective...
why you're doing it.
You're doing it because he stole little children for pedophiles. You should be like, yeah, no, of course I'll do that.
And once again, over this entire period of time, Kaylin has not told Richard who Dark and Rawl's number 2 is.
Who Demon Nas? Yeah, what the fuck?
He doesn't know anything about Tahara, clearly.
Cohort. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's bad. She's really bad.
But she should have told him about Brophy first. Honestly,
what do you mean talk about Brophy?
Oh, you didn't tell... Nobody questioned. So when Richard says, who's Dem and Nas? Zedd, nobody said, you didn't tell him that? But when Brophy showed up, they were
Brophy?
like...
You didn't tell him about Demon?
You should have said that. Brophy shows up, they're like, what do you mean you don't know Brophy? What do you mean? So... Brophy says he wants to torture and kill Demon.
Mm-hmm.
Kahlan says he needs to stay away because him and Dark and Rel are really dangerous. Brophy looks angry for a minute, and then he says, yes, mistress. So you're, like, supposed to see, like, oh, he, like, kinda wants to follow her commands, but also he can, like, overcome it because he's, like, angry at her. And then he says, like, I was happy to be confessed instead of being killed, with people thinking I harmed children.
Sure.
And Kahlan says she didn't want to confess him because she knew he was innocent. And then after, she asked him what animal he wanted to be. And I don't know why she, like, talks as if Brophy's not there. Again, maybe this is part of her being a shitty human characterization, but it's her being like, I asked him what he wanted to be. He said a wolf, but I don't know why. It's like, ask him. He's right here.
Yeah.
Like, why are you not like, oh, he picked wolf? Why did you pick wolf, Brophy? Why is she talking to Richard? Like, I don't know why this one picked wolf.
This crazy man.
Oh, I don't know. It's like, oh, just ask him?
Yeah, so Richard has an explanation
so
for
Richard
Brophy,
immediately...
who can talk.
Kahlan's like not talking to him, doesn't ask.
Shut the fuck up.
Shh. I don't know.
Sub, be quiet.
Be quiet. I don't know why he did that. Richard's like, I do. Richard says,
Fixation king here incoming.
Because wolves are honorable. Because wolves are honorable creatures. Wolves are social creatures.
Double creatures.
Have strong ties and relationships. They are fiercely protective of their young. The whole pack will fight to protect them, and all members of the pack care for the young. I don't know. That's him being AI.
Yeah. Fixation
and then
king.
Brophy whispers, "You understand." You do it.
You understand me, Richard.
But it's like, oh, okay, so Brophy knew why he picked it.
Yeah.
So why were we acting like this was like a mystery? Anyway, so then Kahlan says, really, Brophy? Yeah, I mean, sure, it's a cool animal to pick, right?
I would slam that. There's like 3 that I'd be like, def. Like, whatever. If I can get a choice, cool.
Wolf's
but
pretty good.
Wolf's up there.
I think I might go hawk.
Hawk's sick, yeah. Classic Animorph choice.
Like that,
yeah, red-tailed hawk. There you go. Tobias.
So, okay. Now we find out what Brophy's been up to this whole time.
Who do we?
I was shocked when I read this. I don't hate it, by the way.
I don't hate it either. I think it's kind of fun.
It's fun, and it's weird as fuck, so I like that he
lean
wrote it in.
And right on the heels of me and Julian. Yeah.
I know. So,
you see this, Jewel?
Julian would love this. I just know it.
I'm just saying.
He would, he's going to make a special request. Julian's going to watch the episode and hit you up with text.
I know. We're going to drape his hallways in black fabric to simulate the forest at night, and then I will chase him down. Oh my God. Kind of like the ending to, what's that movie with the Rat Man?
What kind of Green Mile?
No! What?
Isn't there a rat man in
I don't think so. I didn't read it. Listen, I don't know. I'm talking about it's the modern one. He fucks the gravestone. What's his name?
Oh my God. Okay, you're just calling Barry Keoghan a rat
man? The
man?
Rat Man, yeah.
I thought you meant like a man with rats.
No. Oh, well, there probably is that in a prison. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Why can't I remember the movie?
Saltburn.
Oh, okay.
How is it like Saltburn?
The last scene, like that's what I'm saying.
Where he's dancing?
That'll be
with
us
his
after.
Dick out?
Yeah.
Is that you or him?
Us. Later.
You're both doing that? Why? What? That is such a weirdly convoluted reference point. Okay.
Don't judge. Don't yuck our yum.
Wait, hold on. I always forget Omegaverse. I know you're the alpha.
Yeah.
But what is Julian?
Sigma. No, he's the beta. Or the omega. He's the omega. Alpha, omega.
Yeah,
I could also be a Sigma, technically.
Alpha, okay. Dominant, short-tempered, natural leader, physically built.
That's me.
Omega, submissive and gentle.
Yes.
Calm and a peacemaker. That's why he's so against his dad.
I know. That's what we talk about in our sessions.
What
I don't know.
You're making it really strange.
I don't know.
In your sessions. Okay. Anyway. Okay. He says, Mistress, I have a good life now. I have a mate. She's a fine wolf. She smells divine.
Wow.
And her nips... I said not nipples, by the way, because I thought that at first. He means like she's biting him.
Her nips. Okay. All right. Her nips.
She smells divine, and her nips give me the shivers. And she has the cutest little... Well, never mind. The only thing he could mean is, like, her asshole, right? Like, cutest little what?
Her pussy, too, right? Can I not say that word? I don't know.
He's saying she's the cutest little pussy.
He might be. I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, dogs care about asses, but...
That's what I thought. I was like, dogs sniff each other's butts.
The cutest little... Yeah, it can only be, like...
Like, she's got the cutest little...
breedable hole.
Oh, my God.
Which he did, so...
I know. Well, we'll get there, but, like...
Yeah.
She has the cutest little... Well, never mind. It's very horny over there.
Yeah, well, never mind, yeah.
She is the... Okay. Theming.
Yeah.
She is the leader of our pack.
Oh.
With me at her side, of course.
Of course.
Oh, so, okay.
Ah.
Femdom even in the wolf pack?
It happened. Because she...
I can't believe it.
That means that Kahlan could probably just go in there and lead the whole thing. Because she doms him, so maybe...
But he's not the leader. His wife is.
That's true. That's true.
Her and her cute little butthole. She is pleased with me. See what I mean? Like, even the wolf dynamics right now are... He is submissive, and we got Lady Wolf in charge. It's foreshadowing Mordsith coming soon.
It's
I'm
coming.
seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
She says, I'm the strongest wolf she's ever seen.
Wow.
We had a litter last spring. 6. They're fine pups. Almost grown now. It's a fine, fine life. Hard, but fine. Thank you, mistress, for releasing me. So, okay, Kahlan... Once he was a wolf, he was dumb enough that she could say, I'm not in charge of you anymore, and his brain could handle that and move on.
You're
wolf
on
life.
your own. Yeah, go
I
on.
was a little shook by how in-depth his wolf feelings are.
So Brophy fled to the woods, found a wife.
A wife?
A fine, fine wife with
I love
chill-giving
that, like,
nips.
He didn't even... He didn't, like, struggle to be like, I'm part human. Can I...
Or to tell them, because they know he was a human. So he was more embarrassed of his orphanage tactics than finding and fucking a wolf and having babies with wolves. And now I gotta think, what's the genetic implication of those wolf pups? Are they smarter than normal wolves?
Yeah, you'd think they would
be. They probably would be.
But I think he's, like, genetically just a wolf now.
With a human soul inside?
Yeah. Trapped.
And that means a human with animal instincts
will fuck
whatever, like, and with no complaints.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's maybe he's just not bringing it up to them, but I'm like, I'm not getting the sense that he struggled with this at all.
Which makes me think Terry kind of believes that sexuality is inherently tied to the body, and the mind is totally cool.
Well, I don't know, because he's bringing up so much love and psychology. She's the leader of the pack. She feels these things about me. I feel these things about her. We flirt. Like, we're getting a lot of...
Yeah.
He's not just like, I'm a human. Unfortunately, they are stupid wolves, but I fucked one because I figured why not. Like, he's like, no, we have a whole ass relationship and a dynamic.
Yeah.
You know?
I do.
So many implications and questions I have around this one thing here. But I'm happy it's here. I'm happy it's in the background. It was enough that I was like, I want more, but you didn't have to give me more. This is
plenty to chew on.
For me to be like, oh, that's happening in the Midlands right now.
Oh, I have an announcement. So we have a new flair for the comments. Runt of Brophy's litter. That we're gonna add that one in there for you guys. So if in the comments, if you think you want that flair, tag yourself as Runt of Brophy's litter. Who's Runt of Brophy's litter? I need to know.
Who's Brophy's dominant wolf wife?
Oh wait, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Leader of Brophy's pack. Yeah.
Brophy's
chill giving nips. Like, we got there's going to be a Brophy pack that comes out with a couple more updates. So we'll,
99 cents.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting microtransactions on this one. All right.
My God. I don't know. That was a lot to take in.
Yes, it was.
So, like, this is one that I'm like, this is unhinged, but I'm happy. Like, this is where I have fun with Terry, where I'm like, thanks for being so crazy. Like, that's nuts, but I like it.
I agree. I so agree.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been released by the Mother Confessor to live his own wolf life.
Set free.
There does seem to be a little bit of grayness, though, to this, as we will hear about.
Gray.
Yes, as we'll hear about soon. So after Brophy lets us all know about his wonderful life in the pack, Kahlan says, "I'm so glad, Brophy, but why are you here and not with your family?" Valid question. Why being a deadbeat?
Great question. Yeah.
And so he explains that they at some point passed by his den and he got the scent of Kahlan, and he does still have enough of her power in him that, like, he does feel compelled to help and be near her.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he could have resisted, but he could sense that she was in trouble. And the idea of, like, not helping her out was just too painful for him.
Which I get.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, with the power and everything, that tracks.
So he felt compelled to follow her because he said he could not be at peace in the den if he knew Kahlan was out in the world being in trouble. Which, I don't know, I liked. I just like things, I don't know how to describe it. Some stuff feels to me, like, unintuitive and bizarre, and I'm like, I don't really get why... that doesn't feel right to me magically, or... Yeah,
no, this tracks.
But this I'm like, yeah, no, this makes sense. I buy it.
Yeah, it's exactly how I imagine wolf magic would work. Like, being a human wolf, you'd have these feelings.
Well, a human wolf
powers
plus confess magic in you.
This
the combo.
This just works for my brain.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, that sounds good. I like that. So Kahlan is like, okay, well, I don't want you to keep following me. You've already sacrificed so much of your life to Darken Rawl's machinations.
Yes.
I don't want you involved anymore because it's going to potentially, you're going to die or it's going to become worse. He kind of, like, appeals to her, like, you know, when you changed me to a wolf, it removed most of my need to serve you, but I would still die for you, and it's extremely difficult for me to go against your wishes, which at this point, the wish is that he will not help her.
And leave, yeah.
And he's like, but actually, I can override your wish, and this one I'm going to override, which... Yeah, whatever. He has to protect her, and then he's like, you can command me to leave if you want, but I'm not going to listen to you. I have to make sure you're safe from Darken Rawl. And then Richard is like...
Richard's like, fist bump. Like, yeah, hell like, yeah, ignore this bitch.
So true, Brophy. Don't listen to her.
You should die for her like me. Like,
yeah,
let's do it, brother. Brother wolf. brother, sister, cider, wind, wolf. Air, rain, fire.
Cousin wolf.
Cousin wolf.
Yeah, so Richard's basically like, you know what, that's a sick idea, Brophy. Actually, we really could use a wolf on the team. You're right. Yeah. You should be protecting her. Don't listen to her. Stay.
Yep.
And Brophy's like, bro.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. And so Kahlan then is like, she's like, okay, I defer to what the Seeker wants, so if he wants you to stay, I guess you gotta.
Oh.
And then Brophy says, he commands you?
Wow.
He commands the Mother Confessor? And she says, he does. And then he says, wonder of wonders, which, what a saying, coming out of his mouth. Wonder of wonders. So, yeah, he is also just the way that Richard was the other day, being like, I love that I'm commanding the Mother Confessor. And then Brophy also was like, oh my God. But Brophy was like, literally, like, I turned into a fucking wolf and I wasn't allowed to escape femdom. How'd he do it?
Not for long. That's all I gotta say. This world will humble you, boy. Don't worry.
Yeah, so he's shocked. And so then Brophy thanks Richard for leaving him food the whole time he's been following them. And then everyone's like, huh? And I don't know why we had to, like, explicitly get into... He was like, I would sometimes trap the food and then I would put aside a portion because, like... I would have just accepted he was leaving him food.
Literal, over-explaining, over-obsessed with details.
Didn't need that.
Nope.
They're kind of just hanging out, and Richard asks Brophy what it felt like when Kahlan touched him. Brophy looks at Kahlan to be like, am I allowed to tell him this?
Can I speak on your secrets?
Right. Yeah. And then Kahlan's like, okay, sure, tell him. So I remember reading this part as a teenager. I don't know why distinctly. Like, I was reading this paragraph. I was like, I remember reading this.
I agree. Yeah.
It's one of the few things that, like, has stuck out where I was like, I feel like this was one of the moments where I, at that age, was especially like, ooh, I really like this book. But as an adult, I'm like, actually, this is a high point. So that makes sense.
Agreed.
So my brain as a teenager was unbothered by all the things that bothered me. And then this was, like, mind-blowingly good, where now it's like
all that other stuff
sucked, and now this is just not mind-blowing me, but is like, oh, this
top
is
of the hill,
right? This is pretty good, though. Yeah. All things considered,
and it is.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's quite long. The way he describes it is very, like, detailed. I think it really gives you a sense of what this would feel like. I think.
Yeah.
My only qualm with the whole power at this point is the love element and the wizards making this for the purpose they were trying to make it. Like, all of that, the origin of it, and how you're trying to explain it to me, like, that it's mechanically working on love. Don't like it. It doesn't make sense. I don't, that's an unintuitive thing.
Yeah, or at least incomplete.
But if I take that out of it and say it was just, like, control magic or hypnosis magic or desire
influence
magic.
Yeah.
And then I read this, I would be like, this is a really good explanation of how that would come across and work. So
this would fit in the Mistborn universe, like like this kind of power. Like if you were like, they swallowed diamonds and it does, like, mind control. You know what I mean? They swallow diamond dust and they're just zapping you. It's described as pain.
Yeah.
Exquisite. So exquisite pain.
Uh-huh.
So you're feeling like pain that feels good. Right?
Kinda.
And then fear. Overpowering fear that you might displease her.
Yes.
So, okay. And then a rush of joy whenever she makes a request.
Yeah.
Desperate, frantic need to do as she wanted to satisfy her.
Uh-huh.
And then I wrote in parentheses, guys online be like.
Simps online be
then
like.
he would cry with elation being in her presence.
Yeah.
I was writing, it does a good job showing the intensity of the power that's going on inside of him. But, yeah, sorry, if you had more details.
No, it's just like, I thought, it's a little monologue-y, but for some reason, the way he's describing it, I don't know, I thought it flowed well.
It did.
It's monologue-y, but you're like, okay, conversationally, clearly this man has probably reflected, this man, Wolf, has reflected on this experience a lot, and you're like, yeah, maybe you would describe it like this, and, like, with this intensity. Something about it felt a lot more natural. Sometimes he's able to write a monologue that feels like real human speech, and then other times it does not feel that way. Like Kahlan recalling everybody at the situation at Horner's Mill did not feel like real human speech to me, but this did. This, I believed him. I believe Brophy existed, and I believe he had been confessed. And I think what the part that really sticks out is when she asks him during the confession if he killed the boy, and then he says no and assumes that means she wanted him to kill a boy, and then he says, oh no, I'm so sorry, I didn't kill the boy. Would you like me to go do that? And I think it is powerful because you're like, okay, yes, the Wolf Brophy, which seems to have a little bit more in common with adult human Brophy pre-confession, obviously wouldn't have killed a boy, didn't want to kill a boy. That's against his moral code. He had no desire to do that. And then seeing how that's the level of brain washed, I suppose he is, where he's like, oh, no problem. Like, you're like, oh yeah, wow, you really didn't exist anymore as yourself in that state. You're just like a vessel for...
Yeah, it's boundary destroying, right? Like, it's all the internal boundaries a person builds that, like, separate, because it's like he had his memories.
It's like boundary and will destroying. You don't.
Oh yeah, no, the will is gone. The boundaries are, and I guess boundaries are a crystallized will in a way, right?
Yeah, true.
So it just washes all of that clean so that you're a person with your memories only with one desire,
right.
which is hers.
Yeah, I just hate the fact that it's I hate calling it love, and I hate the fact that it's related to truth, because it's just not. But like, you are like, this is like simp or submissive person magic. It is like subspace magic.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, but it's also...
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's about, I don't know. It is describing something interesting. Imagine somebody wrote, like,
I know,
a BDSM magic book, and this was, like...
part of
this. This was, like, how you would, like, be you dominate somebody. And then you read this, you'd be like, yeah, that's such a good description. So it's weird to me that Terry did such a good job of exploring a totally not related
which
thing.
He swears he wasn't exploring.
Right, but then he like slapped a label on it that was like, this is truth and love, and I'm like, I don't think so.
No, it's
I feel like it was something else.
Domination submission, maybe.
Yeah, totally.
It's the DS of BDSM, maybe, but
that's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah,
and then you could call me crazy, like you could be like, that's a weird interpretation, except when I'm 50 pages after this. And the BDSM ladies show
red
up.
Leather.
I don't know. I do think that there's gotta be a reason why that's happening all bundled together so closely. It's not like a coincidence.
No, it's not.
I don't know that he was consciously doing anything, but it's not it can't be a coincidence, like subconsciously, how that all came out together. That's all I'm saying.
Why does he think it's truth and love, though? That's what's interesting. I mean, there's something about love in there. I understand what he was thinking, but I feel like he's confused.
It's very muddled. It's like one of those things where you're like, elements of this exist in love, elements of love exist in this.
Yes.
And therefore it can get kind of confusing, and I guess just depending on how your brain is interpreting it and focusing in on certain elements, I guess to him that made sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't
clearly
really feel like it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's a little too tight of a box.
Yeah, I find it weird. But I like the power. It's if I just, like I said, if I ignore the whole thing, all that stuff, I'm just like, oh, cool power for that lady to have, and cool description of how that feels, and I'm happy with all of that. He really goes in depth with how this felt and how intense it is, and how just any affection or reaction from Kahlan caused such like insane responses from him emotionally.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess that's what like is just being like, oh, Richard can't be touched by this power because he already wants to do everything for Kahlan. I guess I'm like, not like this though. There's more if you're saying this is the end result of the most extreme version of the Confessor power. You can't be like, Richard's there, so he's like immune to it, because like, well, he's not there. I don't care how much Richard loves her. I think we're gonna see throughout the whole series, he's not here. Of course he's not here. He shouldn't be, but he's not. So like, I don't know if it makes sense to me,
because it's hard. I think he's gonna go through some sort of dark journey where his soul is laid bare, his ego is stripped, and like that's what we're going for. But the conclusion cannot be, oh, I now know truly myself in that base state, so now I know how to love you.
Right.
And, like, I understand what you are and what we are now, and, like, therefore, like, your power can't hurt me because I understand how to be at the lowest point or something like that.
Something,
and I'd take that, but there's definitely going to be tons of dialogue in the future books where, like, Richard would not go across his own boundaries just because Kahlan wanted him to.
Of course not.
Where Brophy had no choice.
Clearly.
Here. He would do anything.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, would Richard be like, yes, Kahlan, you want me to murder a child? Okay. No, of course not. So there seems like there's a gap in
the ecstasy of pleasing her can only go so far for someone like Richard, whereas once Brophy was touched, clearly exceeded his capacity.
The only thing I could think is that his love for her, it's going to be like his love for her is so pure that it is technically more powerful, that version of it, than this version of it.
Yeah, sure. And
that makes sense.
That's going to be, yeah, I mean, no, yes it does and no it doesn't. Like, it's gonna
like, yes and no. I guess it's just like, again, it all...
doesn't work in a hard magic system for sure.
It all hinges on me thinking love is involved at all.
Which is dubious right now.
It's dubious, for sure. So, Richard thanks Brophy for telling him all of that.
We do have a quote, and it's a good quote considering what we just said. I guess it was a feeling of love, but words are so hollow next to the power of the wanting of her.
Right. I don't think that's love.
And that's...
I don't know that Brophy does
but
either.
But maybe Brophy, upon reflection, is like, I guess you could... Like, it feels something similar to that, but it's more of the wanting of her. It's like the idolization of her.
Know.
This deification internal.
Yes.
Which is a... Yeah, there's something truthful there, but I don't know that I'd call it love.
I guess, you know what metaphor they're probably going to want to use? It's going to be like an additive magic thing, maybe. And they're going to be like, Zedd's going to be like, you know what it's like? It's like, we're sitting around this campfire. It's keeping us warm, and it is in no way a danger to us. But if I use additive magic, it becomes a fireball that will burn your skin until the next decade passes. It is just like love is this campfire, and the confessor power is the all-consuming violent fireball. That's what I'll say.
That was pretty terrified. You terrified that thought.
Terrified.
Yeah, terrified. That's exactly how he'd write it too. Yeah, wow.
Yes,
yeah,
right? I think that is going to be maybe the logic.
Yeah. Because my brain was reaching for better words. I was like, blazing inferno. No, Terry would say, like a big fireball.
Yes,
like,
100%. It's not no, you didn't have to go that far.
No.
Don't put that much effort in. Don't stress yourself out.
But one thing I just thought about the monologue thing that you were saying.
Yes.
Terry really, it's extremely inhuman when the monologues are factual based. Like when they're just like, here are the facts of what's been happening the last couple of days. That's not how people talk.
Yeah.
But when someone's monologuing, this is a very important thing.
Yes.
But either about nature, which he's very good at writing, or emotions.
Uh-huh.
I think that's where his monologuing about feelings does make sense, because it is a hard thing to like pin down.
Right, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a natural play with facts because they are boring.
Yeah.
So the delivery of them between people is generally this, like, I don't know, give and take, whereas emotions, people are more like, tell me your inner thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. I also wonder if it's just like Terry's actually excited to write this one.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's
cool.
Key. Yeah.
He was like, let me cook. Like, I know what I have to say.
This is he wrote this on a napkin while like the idea hit him, and he was like, oh my God, this is how I describe it.
Yeah, but then it's also just like, all the time. I get it. They were boring, the other monologues you were writing. But like so many of them, like, you just didn't have to write them.
That's your fault.
I don't know why
you could have cut half of them.
Why'd you include all of
just
that?
Just don't do that.
Because it seems like you were having fun here and it came out well.
Yeah.
Richard thanks Brophy and says it's late and they need to sleep because they have a big day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Brophy offers to keep watch, and Richard's like, I want to keep watch too, but you should watch me keeping watch. And
thanks, Richard.
So then once more, he said, I'm going to keep watch. Here I go.
Oh, no.
And then Zedd says, hey! Once again.
Hey,
Richard! Boy. Oh, my God.
Hey, listen.
Yep.
Literally.
That's all they do.
Yep.
What bone is it your father gave you? He's been thinking on that. Richard's panicking. He hopes if Zedd ever believes a lie, he'll believe this one. You must remember it. The little round one? You've seen it before. And then Zedd says, oh yeah, I guess I have.
Bruh.
Good night. Good night. Yeah, I don't think Zedd believes him.
And then Richard walks off. He used the wizard's first rule again! He got him again!
Well, I don't think he got him this time. I think Zedd's playing dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard definitely thinks he wizard first ruled, and he says it. He says, wizard's first rule, thank you, my old friend, for teaching me how to save Kahlan's life. So we're still doubling down on the fact that he's like, I can't tell him about the bone.
Zedd will shoot her the second he knows.
The second I say, I am the Book of Counted Shadows, that's just like, done. Kahlan's dead. I don't, again, it so sucks that so many things will become good, but then the whole foundation, the whole tower they're built on, I'm like, I didn't like that, though. No. So, like, yeah, Richard coming up with the lie that he lost the tooth, lying to Zedd right now, none of that I don't have any problems with. That seems fine.
It's fine.
But, like, being like, and it's all for this thing with Kahlan, I'm like, well, that was dubious. I don't.
Just like Shota's prophecy, just like all these things are like,
oh wow,
we're hanging so much faith on like
I
these unspoken concepts that are like, I have to now believe that everyone's thinking just like Richard about
correct,
and it's like I'm not even thinking that way, so I don't know why Zedd's necessarily like about to shoot her in the head the second he knows.
It's such a stretch.
If Richard has a tooth that proves that he has the Book of Shadows in his head, I'm killing Kahlan. Facts, guaranteed. Like, what are you, crazy?
Outcome. There's no other version of this that could go down. I don't know. Zedd kind of lets it go, whether he believes him or not. Hard to say because the confusing way of. The way that Terry makes everybody incredibly inconsistent makes it hard to know for sure if people are being dumbasses or playing dumb or whatever.
You can't know.
No way to know. And then it ends with Richard walked into the night, his head pounding with pain from without and from within.
So, Mr. Imitrex over here got his migraines going again.
Well, so it's like because he hit his head on the rock.
Yep.
And then also because he's just like his stress and the amount of things he's thinking about is
this
also,
is a common book theme too. Richard's always got a headache because he's always puzzling these great mysteries.
Right.
Which now it's just, did Zedd believe me about not killing my girlfriend?
I think it's also taking in the confessor,
the Brophy
of it all, and how the mother confessor, him seeing her mother confessor at Wolfman Brophy.
Oh,
Brophy.
Honestly, that would make something hurt, but I don't know if it was in my head. Can we pull up fan art of Brophy's wife? Can we see? Can we see what that wolf's looking like?
Brophy's wife.
Brophy's wife's cute little ex. Like,
cute.
What's going on here?
Question mark. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody did fan art of that.
No, they didn't.
I can't get fan art of like
you can't get consistent fan art of Shota. Like you're not getting Brophy's wife.
Yeah. I mean, unless the furries have gotten in here, because then maybe that's the only thing they would draw.
Do you think there's any relation between Brophy and Bronies? Huh? No. Brophy's wife. Oh, I mean, romance novelist Nancy Brophy sentenced for murder. Wow.
Okay, that's kind of femdom, right?
That's femdom.
So yeah, if anybody noticed if anybody noticed towards the end there that there was like a little switcheroo, I don't know if my hair looks different, I don't know.
Lights changed or
something. Were we filming and then landscapers came and then I took a nap and also I have COVID and then I fell asleep? Yeah.
Is this a totally different day and different time?
Day? Also, yeah.
You
can blame the COVID for that one.
We can, yeah. But you can thank us for the consistency of keeping the same shirts around.
Right, I know we did do that.
Trying to fool you guys. So if you were fooled, write it below.
Yeah, let us know if you noticed.
Know if you got punked. And then that makes us Wizards of the First Order.
Then we beat you. So that's how this all works. And so also if I sound really congested throughout all of this, that's because of the COVID. Too. So here I am filming anyway, though, because this is really important.
Game over.
Okay.
All right.
Over it.
Guys.
We're done.
We're done.
I'm going to go have COVID elsewhere. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Out.